Morning guys, so Jason from JBA Carpy Adventures, and this week you join me, very excited, on the bank of Farlows, which I have never fished before. So I got fortunate whilst I was waiting at gate 1 to get into the smelly bank, bumped into a bailiff, got talking to him, Derek, lovely guy, thank you Derek, appreciate all the advice you gave me so far mate. So he gave me peg to look at on the way in. Unfortunately it was taken. Pretty much all the pegs on the smelly bank and factory bank are taken, but he was actually in peg 45, and peg 45 has a sort of slightly smaller swim next to it, 45A, and that's actually where I am guys. So I am at Farlows, smelly bank 45A, next to the bailiff Derek, and I've got an island in front of me to go at. I've got one next to me. I will show you all the swim in a minute, but I'm just so excited guys. I mean, I've seen the fish here and they look absolutely banging. They've got some absolutely dark brown beautiful hangers here, and I'm really praying I can get into one for you this weekend. Like I said, I've been speaking to Derek, he's given me some good advice. I've gone round to Angling Direct, got myself some maggots. I'm going to be topping my baits with him and putting just a little bit out. I have got swans in front of me at the minute, but we're going to see what's what. So, before I get too excited, let's just roll that intro. Alright guys, so I just thought I'd show you quickly where I'm fishing. So firstly, the old fishmobile is right next to me here, and I'm going to show you where I'm fishing. Now, I'm going to do it all handheld guys, because the ground's a bit treacherous. I couldn't get my barrow over there, so I've had to walk everything round. So it's been an eventful morning so far, but let's show you where I'm fishing. Alright guys, so as you can see, it is pretty muddy. You've got barriers here, you've got squelchy mud here. Fortunately I've got the old boots on, so I'm squelching through here. Got another bit of squelchiness here, and then you come to where I am, which is 45A. So like I said, I've got the bailiff next to me. I've got my bait that you might have seen prep during the week here. Right guys, so I just thought I'd quickly show you a little bit of prep I'm doing for this weekend's trips to Farlows for the very first time. So I've got some Outlaw Pro Attract Mackerel boilies. I don't want to do too many initially, maybe half of what I've got in there. I've got more, so I'm not going to add loads to them, but what I am going to do, which is probably going to be quite interesting, is I'm going to be adding some long life skimmed milk. I think I saw it off of one of the videos recently, and the reason I'm using long life is because it's not going to go off anytime soon. So let's get these in, and then we're just going to add to that. There you go, that can sit there for the weekend like that. That's going to be okay. And then to that, I just want to add some, I've gone for the Fruit Smart Liquid guys. So let's get some of that in. I know it's really thick, so we're going to get some of that in all over the place. Oh wow, smells amazing guys, I've got to be honest. So that'd be it. And I just want to give that a really good mix. And I'll tell you what guys, I've never, Connie uses this stuff all the time, I don't, but I've got to be honest, wow, that smells amazing, that stuff. So, the reason I'm doing this, two reasons really. One, get a bit more flavour into these boilies, but two, to give them a bit of a washed out look before I get to the... Oh wow, okay, yeah, that actually smells banging guys, absolutely gorgeous. I think I might actually add a bit more to it, because I've got a feeling I'm probably going to go through it. So let's just make it level, and that should be it I reckon, fingers crossed. That'll be ready for this weekend. During the week here, gone and got some maggots. I've got the winter skin on the bivvy, and this technically here is my little swim. So I've got tree line there, which I've been told by the bailiff is clear underneath there, so I'm thinking getting the boat in there on the clear spot, have a look, see where we're going. I've got an island in front of me and he says come out from the island about 1 metre, be a good idea. And then I've got this channel in here and I'm thinking somewhere over there, they've got to be patrolling through there if I'm lucky. That could be a good spot. So I'm going to start with getting the boat out with the deeper, try and find some spots. Get back to you as soon as. Alright guys, so my very first time at Farlows. I've made up a couple of mixes. I'm just going to let you know what they are and what's in them. So these are Outlaw Pro Kriller along with some larger 20mm Robin Red and garlic. Sorry guys, so that's got the Kriller liquid food and Robin Red in here. Now this one I am actually really proud of. This is the Outlaw Pro Attract Naturel. So I've only gone for 15 millers on this one. And this has got long life skimmed milk and the fruit smart liquid in. And I'll tell you what guys, these smell absolutely awesome. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to put. I've kind of got a bit of a match the hatch going on with all of them. I've got again an Outlaw Pro Attract Naturel pop-up in a barrel shape topped with maggots, and on this one I've got the Kriller pop-up trimmed down a bit so it acts more like a wafter, again topped with maggots. And I'm going to be putting like a little handful of maggots over the top over each, not loads but some, when it goes out in the bait boat guys. Okay guys, so I'll quickly show you the rigs. They're swinging around at the bottom of the things, but we've got Outlaw Attract and then the Krill, both with maggots on. And then for the solid PVA bag I've just got a Parker Baits fruit and nut with some fruity liquid put in there as well. So let's get these out and fingers crossed can start fishing. Hi guys, so finally got myself sorted, found some spots, or not really some spots, I can't be honest, there's not massive features in the swim where I am, there's no real weed, so I'm not unhappy about that. So I've just kind of gone for a few deeper spots, one close to a tree that's in the water to my left, one sort of mid-channel between an island and the bank, and then gone to the island. But let me show you where they are and I'll tell you what's on them. So my first rod, which is the right hand rod, it's a Parker Baits, the new OG Fish Wafters in 12mm. I've gone for a yellow one and I'm going to point guys. So it's just out in this channel here, so probably 3/4 of the way actually. It's closer to the bank than it is to the island. So as Parker Baits OG Fish, I've put some Outlaw Pro Attract Naturel with that. So next one's going to be to this island. I will zoom in a little bit guys, just to try and make it a little bit better if the light kind of responds. Come on camera, there we go. Right, so I've got 3/4 of this island and I've gone, hopefully I'm going to be able to point here, I've gone about here, about 1 metre off the island, as advised by Derek the bailiff who's in the swim next to me. So that's where I've gone on that one. My middle rod is an Outlaw Pro Attract Naturel pop-up, and that's been topped with maggots guys, again as advised by the bailiff. So you know me, I go and ask bailiff's advice, particularly somewhere I've never been before. It makes good sense. I've seen his rigs, he's putting them out with maggots on tops, I'm doing the same. So that's the Outlaw Pro Attract Naturel. It's a yellow pop-up, so that's gone out with my yellow mix. So my last one is actually really in close guys, so I'm going to zoom back out and I've got this tree right here. So I've literally gone just off the tip of the tree, and that's going to be an Outlaw Pro Kriller pop-up, this time topped with maggots as well, and the mix. So that's where the rods are for my very first time in Farlows. I've got my fingers crossed. The weather is chilly guys, and it's going to get very, very cold tonight, but fingers crossed I might be able to make you a bite this weekend. Morning guys, so Saturday morning at Farlows, and obviously that lack of footage means I've had no fish. Now I'm not totally surprised.
for a couple of reasons, guys. When I arrived here yesterday, I was trying to get onto the middle of the smelly bank, obviously where the deeper water is at Farlows, and I spoke to probably about 7 or 8 guys, asked them if they were leaving, asked all of them if they'd had any luck. No one has had any luck, so there's not been a lot coming out, to be fair. The ones you see on social media are few and far between. So, and it's got colder through yesterday evening. It's 0 degrees here today, so I'm not totally surprised for that fact. Fish hadn't been coming out, so I'm not totally surprised, but I'm going to put my hands up here, guys, and admit I also messed up a little bit yesterday. So I was doing a separate little vlog within a vlog, if you like. I wanted to do one showing how to use the deeper, mainly to find the features, and I had it on like the nighttime setting. You have a daytime and a nighttime setting. The daytime colours are lovely, you can clearly see, but for finding spots and all, I like to use the nighttime. So I found some spots, set them up for the bait boat, put the rigs out. One of them, when I was sinking the line, I wasn't quite happy with. Played on my mind for a few hours, and I thought, oh, you know what, I need to redo that. So when I pulled it in, and thick blanket weed, and I was like, oh, I thought that was a clear spot. Got the bait boat out again, put it on the daytime colours, and literally I think everywhere I've put a rod is in thick blanket weed at the minute. And this was at like 4:30 by the time I'd got that rod out, so it's dark. I wasn't too fussed, because one of them is a solid PVA bag, so it's going to be sitting on top, so I'm not worried about that one. The one that I brought in, I did find a clear spot for that and put that back on a clear spot. And the other one's on the island, and I didn't move it because I did actually have a bleep off of it. So I was like, oh, you know what, for tonight, that will be alright. I've had a bleep, I think something's in the area, I'm going to leave it. So I did. I didn't have any fish. Like I said, I'm not surprised. First night, as I always say, you know what, if I get a fish anywhere on the first night, I think I've been lucky, unless it's, you know, I've seen something to go at, which I haven't seen anything here. So I got in the sleeping bag probably about 8:30, because it was bloody freezing, guys, I've got to be honest, and the best way to stay warm is just in your sleeping bag when it's this cold. Sorry, my nose is cold as well. So I got into the bag really early, ended up waking up about 2 o'clock, and then I didn't really get back to sleep after that. But I was listening to the water. The birds are always going here, so you can hear the birds. I heard absolutely nothing last night. Stood outside probably 2 lots of 15 minutes because it was cold, guys, and yeah, I didn't have all my gear on that I have now. I just got out of the sleeping bag, so it was cold. But I stood out for 2 lots of 15 minutes last night. The moon was really bright, so you could actually see the water really still, and I'll be honest, if anything had shown in my area, I would have definitely seen it, because it was quite well lit last night, so visibility was really, really good. And even now, I mean, it's still, you know, it's not light yet, but visibility is really good. There was a lot of high winds yesterday, and there's a lot of ripple on the water, so it's hard to see anything, but it's much calmer today, although much cooler. But if you'll see, it's cold this morning, guys, so it's 0 degrees. Oh, that said, I have just seen one jump out in mid-water. Look at that. Is it going to jump again? You normally find, don't you, guys, when you see one jump, it'll normally jump twice, so you know, crap. Anyway, nowhere near my water. So I've got up, made a coffee. I haven't even had a mouthful of coffee yet, guys, so excuse me for a sec. Oh, that's nice. So I've got up, put warmer clothes on today, so just to cover that fact, obviously I've got all thermal socks on. I haven't got thermals on underneath. I probably should have put them on, if I'm honest. It is cold enough to warrant at 0 degrees. I probably should have put thermal base layer on, didn't bother. I have got some heated socks. I bought them a few years ago, guys, so I probably wouldn't be able to find the link for you now. Actually, it would be in one of my posts. I might find the post and try and put it in the link to that, where I bought these thermal socks. I got them off Amazon. Anyway, I've got to say, guys, you put these thermal socks on, it's got 3 little heat settings. Initially I put it on the high heat, and then like after I've finished getting dressed, I just whack it back down. And I'll tell you what, my feet are toasty right now, absolutely toasty. So I put an additional layer on, and if I need to, I've got gloves. So just want to say, guys, listen, when it's this cold, make sure you will wrap yourselves up. I also have a snod under here, so when my nose gets cold, which it will do later, I'll literally just pull this up to keep my nose cold. You don't need to be getting cold on the bank, guys, so I just want to say, make sure you dress yourself really warm when you're out there and keep yourself warm, and have a good sleeping bag. I've got a lovely sleeping bag, and when I'm in it, I'll be honest, I generally don't sleep too well, but when it gets cold and you get inside the winter sleeping bag, the heavy one, I do go off for a good few hours, that's for sure. So, what am I going to do this morning? Well, I'm going to undo some of the cock-ups of yesterday, because, and I always admit everything, guys, I've also put back lids on. Thinking I was fishing over a clear area, I put back lids on, and I shouldn't really have back lids on. Not if I've got blanket weed down there. So, I'm going to redo the rods this morning. Again, as always, guys, I'm going to leave them in till 10 o'clock. I don't know the lake, I don't know the bite times, so I'm going to leave them in till 10 o'clock. Take them out. I may go for a comfort break, come back, get the bait boat out, and reinvestigate the water. I have found one spot. My left-hand rod is on a clear spot, so that's saved. So I will keep that spot, and it's only literally 2 rod lengths out in front of me, so I'm not unhappy about that. But there's an area to my right and a tree over there, and as the bailiffs walked around yesterday, he said, oh, you might want to have a look over there. So I'm going to have a little further investigation over there. I did walk over there with the Polaroids on yesterday. Couldn't really see anything too much, and it does there is a bit of a bank there, so you can look down. So I couldn't really see any clear areas, but we didn't have a lot of good light either, if I'm honest. So I'm going to have a look over there today. The other thing I will say, guys, I watched loads of social media before coming here, and I saw loads and loads of drone footage, and yet when I called up to ask about it, they don't allow drones here anymore. I think people have just taken it to an extreme where they were using the drones to actually where to put their rigs in, so you know, watching from above while they take the bait boat over them. So there's too many drones up in the air. Anyway, so I've gone and spoke to them, said, look, you know, I've got a small little YouTube channel, I'd really like to just take some aerial footage of the lake. I'm not interested in trying to find spots or anything, and I never use it for that, but I would like some footage of the lake, and they gave me permission to. So later on today, we won't have the winds that we had yesterday, but when we've got some sunlight up, I'm going to get the drone up and have a little look over this lake. It does look quite beautiful, I've got to be honest. During the night it still looked beautiful, because the moon, like I said, was out last night, and clear sky. It was lovely, it was very, very nice. And although I don't think I'm in a good spot, I'm not totally unhappy with my spot either, guys. So, you know, it's whether the fish come around this end of the bay or not. They probably won't, because the deeper water's totally up that way quite a bit, but you always get that odd fish, don't you? You know, I've got to pray for the odd fish anyway. So yeah, I'm gonna have my coffee. I can't really say wake up because I'm fully awake, but I'm gonna have my coffee, watch the water, pray for signs of a fish and something to go at, and give you an update later, guys. But thank you for watching, and hopefully I can bring you a fish. It'd be really nice to have a Farlows fish, I've got to be honest. So many absolute bangers of fishes in here, and you know, it would just be amazing to have one. So I'm praying to the carp gods on this one, guys. I really am. So I'm going to have my coffee, watch the water, and I'll give you guys an update later. Morning, guys. So just want to give you a bit of an update. It's about 11:30. I brought the rods in about 10 o'clock, had a comfort break. Now, one of the things at Farlows is you're not allowed to use drones anymore, but I was given permission to use it. I went and asked them yesterday, so just give you a little bit of footage now of the lake. Beautiful. Hope you like it. So now I've got to get the rods out, and a couple of things I'm going to change. I put the deeper out with a bait boat this morning, had a good look around. One of the spots I'm going to keep, which is the one just in front of me on my left hand rod, and I'm going to change one of them. So the right hand rod that was sort of in the channel, I'm actually going to bring closer to a margin because I want to try and get some underwater footage. So I'm going to get the rig out and then put my underwater cam out as well. You just never know, you know, that would be the most amazing thing ever. So I'll get about 45 minutes out of each battery on that, so I'll leave the rig in but keep changing the battery every 45 minutes and see what happens, rather than use it for a rod cam this week. So you never know, I might move it around as well. The spots are saved on the bait boat, so I can sort of move it around between a few spots. Could even give me an opportunity to check they're sitting correctly, to be fair. So actually it's probably not a bad idea, so I might do that today. So I've still got quite a bit to get on, haven't got the rods in at the minute, so I kind of need to get them out. It's freezing cold here, as you can probably ascertain from me rubbing my hands trying to warm them up. So yeah, it's pretty cold, but it's bright, it's not raining, which is a good thing, so I can deal with the cold, I can dress for the cold. So I'm going to get myself set up. I'm going to be doing the same sort of thing, PVA bag on one. I'm actually going to change both rigs now that I've figured out there is quite a lot of weed in front of me. I'm going to be putting out both on Ronnie rigs that are really slow sinking. So I've also decided I'm going to put the bait in one hopper, drop that first, give it time to settle, and then drop my rig. So I'm going to do it a little bit different today. Not that I had any problems with the lines coming back in, everything, all the rigs came in alright this morning, but you know, I just want to refine it that little bit, you know, fingers crossed it'll be enough to get me a bite. The bird life here is all over your rigs, all over everything all the time, so I need something that if it gets picked up it's going to reset. Hence I'm going pop up with some maggots on top and Roddy rig. I knew there's one other thing, I need to get the riddle for my maggots. Right, I'm going to go jump back to the van, grab a riddle, then get back and crack on with stuff, guys. Afternoon, guys, so it's about 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Been here fishing for probably a little over 24 hours. Got less than 24 hours left. So this morning, like I might have said, I brought the rods in at 10, done some investigations with the boat, found some different spots, or one different spot anyway, gone out to it, and sorry guys, I've just seen a line trailing from a tree again. I saw it yesterday and I couldn't see it earlier, so I'll have to give the office a call here and let them know it's still there. It's a very large lake here, guys, and unfortunately for me, I'm right in a corner peg. Now, I don't feel too bad because no one else seems to have had anything out either. I've got the bailiff next to me, obviously he's very experienced here. So the fact that no one else is catching doesn't make me feel terrible, to be fair, but I really would like a fish. So I'm going to show you where the rods are, I'm going to tell you what's on them, and I'll be honest, unless I see something to go at, they're staying there. So they'll be there a good amount of time. So this morning when I was watching the water about 8 o'clock, I did see a couple of rings, and then I saw a couple of bubbles later. So just in my margin sort of thing, probably 3 rod lengths out, about here is where I saw that bubbling. So that has now got a pink essential cell pop-up on, topped with a few maggots, and it's got a good helping of both mixes over it. I've put both mixes and maggots over all spots. So that's my right hand rod. Middle rod, I have gone pretty much to the same place I was yesterday, because when one of the bailiffs come round, he kind of said to me, oh, you buy this spot, and actually I was. So I've had a couple of people tell me about it, so let's try and point it out to you. There's a tree that's kind of going that way in the middle of the island. I'm about 1 metre in front of it, guys. So that's where I am. And now a spot I did go to yesterday evening, it wasn't where I initially went to, I went sort of under this tree, but in front of this tree now, I'll zoom out actually, in front of this tree, just past the tree about here, just on the edge of my water, because my water kind of goes in line with this tree to the island, I've got a white essential cell pop up with maggots on. Sorry, I should have said the one to the island is a solid PVA bag with Parker Baits OG Fish wafter in there, guys. Look at that, guys. 4 o'clock, looking lovely out there. Unfortunately, I wanted to show you the moon is out, but unfortunately you can't see it on this. There's a beautiful moon already out. Really looks good, and you know within half an hour it's going to be pitch black out here. So while I've got the camera out, might as well give you a quick update, guys. Rods are staying where they are from the afternoon. So one on the right hand side margin, one towards the island in front, and one on the left hand side in front of this tree. So no real difference, nothing's happened. I haven't heard anything going off anywhere else on the lake, so fingers crossed might be able to get one. Morning, guys. So you're gonna have to excuse the fact you can't hardly see any of me, but it is cold here. I decided to get out probably about 10 minutes ago, coming up to 6 o'clock, and already my hands are frozen, so, and my nose was frozen, hence the snod being on, but there you go, that's winter fishing. So obviously lack of footage means I haven't had anything during the night. Now I'm not too disappointed if I'm honest. Well, no, I am disappointed, but I'm not too discouraged because I didn't hear anyone else's alarms go off either yesterday. So I don't know, I think it's been a very hard weekend. Obviously the temperatures have dropped drastically this weekend. There's all frost outside. It is pretty darn cold. So what's happening, or what's happened? So yesterday you saw me put the rods out. I was happy with them until about 6 o'clock in the evening. Although it was obviously pitch black then, the moon here was really shining quite well on the lake, and I could see a spot to my right that had a couple big movements over it, or a few big movements over it. So I was like, you know what, bring in that right rod and redo it and put it where I think I probably got a better spot for today. Now my right rod is probably where I've got most of my hopes on, because yesterday I had it in a different position, and about 8 o'clock I saw some fizzing going off, so I brought it in. It was a solid PVA bag, re-put it out. Nothing materialised, but the mental note is 8 o'clock fish are patrolling this way, so I think my sort of right hand bay about 8 o'clock has a good chance. Now I've got to be off at 9 o'clock, so obviously I've got to be doing pack down and all, but I can leave the rods in till 8 for sure. So I'm gonna make a coffee, watch the water a little bit, and pray, absolutely pray to those carp gods that I can get something this morning before I leave. I was fortunate enough to be allowed to get the drone up yesterday, so hopefully you would have seen that footage. My thanks to Bailiff Scott for letting me do that, appreciate that. I think I've already said it, but my thanks to Derek. He's the bailiff who's actually fishing in the swim next to me. He's in 45, I'm in 45A. So thanks Derek for all your help and advice, appreciate that. I did spot a line in a tree yesterday in the island in front of me, and fortunately when the guys were coming around to do the rigs check, I was able to tell them and they were actually able to see it, so they came out in the boat and took rid of that, and actually took out a few lines from around the tree. So it's nice to see that the management team here do take it seriously and obviously get rid of anything that could get tethered to one of their fish. So well done, Farlows. Obviously I've been round, I've been into Angling Direct here. I've got to say, really lovely, really good facilities, good people. Everyone's given me good advice so far. Unfortunately I've not been able to put a fish on the bank, but I've had good advice off the guys, so it has been a good trip, even if I don't catch anything, and I will be coming back. 100% I'll be coming back. Fingers crossed for the last few hours, guys. If not, I'll give you an update before I leave. But thank you for watching. Morning, guys. So Sunday morning, 8 o'clock. I've got to be off by 9. I've still got the rods out, still got the bivvy up. I've got a bit of work to do, but I thought I'd do my closure now, guys. So I came pretty well prepared. I had the fluorocarbon leaders on, micro barbed hooks, picked out my rigs, picked out my bait, and unfortunately I've been able not to put any fish on the bank. But it's not been easy this weekend, it seems, guys, because I haven't heard anyone else have a fish at all. So it's not been an easy week for me to come for the very first time, but I'm not disheartened. I got to come to Farlows. I've never been here before. They gave me permission to fly over, so I've got some drone footage. You know, it's been a very cold weekend, and I'm not surprised to not, you know, bite in too much. So firstly, thank you for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. I don't take anything for granted. If you're new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you've enjoyed this fishless video, give it the old thumbs up, and if you want to be notified of future posts, hit that bell icon. I do post every Friday evening, guys, normally about 6 or 7 o'clock, and it's either covering one of my fishing vlogs like this, or bait making, or a quick review. So if you like that sort of thing, subscribe, guys, and hit that bell notification. So thank you very, very much for watching. Please feel free to leave me any comments, and as always, stay safe, stay fishing, and I'll see you in the next vlog.